Hello and welcome everyone to Clicks and Classics Night Call. We're back in Paris and we're still chasing the judge, trying to get some evidence, so let's pick up our new client, customer, still not quite sure. Okay. It's a good little tour. Your next passenger has been crying. He stares at the floor and gives you an address in the nearby suburbs. You've just started driving when her telephone rings. The ringtone is familiar. Yes. There's a pause. Her tone is sharp and curt. Yes, I'm on my way home right now. She pauses, holds her breath. Yes. Another pause. Sounds annoyed. No, I took a taxi. On the other end, a voice gets louder. Who's paying? Well, I am. I don't want to take the bus home tonight. Come on, lay off. A new round of criticism begins. Look, can you just lay off? Yeah, well, we'll talk about that when I get back. She holds the phone away from her ear, ready to hang up, then pulls it back. Yes, I'm here. She finally glances at you. There's no need to scream. I can hear you. I told you. We'll talk about it when I get home. Nothing. She rolls her eyes. Oh, come on. My life is not ruined. I mean, I failed one exam. Don't worry, there'll be others. Their voices raises another notch. I'm gonna have to let you go. No, we're just not getting mixed up in that. Oh, stop freaking out. Why would a taxi be more dangerous than a night bus, Mom? Are you out of your mind? It's impossible to talk to you these days. I'm hanging up. She pulls her phone away from her face, like she's afraid of it. You hear ring, the same tune as before. The young woman hesitates, turns the phone over in her hand, and decides not to answer. Sorry. I know that tune. Her face lights up. It's Like Me by Leo Delibé. We gave a performance with this music. After hearing it so much, I just fell totally in love with it. It's just an incredibly soft piece. In the opera, it comes from the priestess Lakme, and one of her companions go to gather jasmine for the temple, and you sense the love between the characters. And it's mutual. The two women sing and their words are very similar, but not identical. You sing? No, I'm a dancer. Classical, jazz, and other various combinations. I've danced since I was a little girl, but I've been dancing even more these last few years. I love it. A friend and I did put our own choreography for a few scenes from the Lakme opera once. We did a show. It was really exciting. The smile that appears on her face seems to have erased the tears. And thanks for earlier, by the way. I missed the last metro, and to be honest, I really didn't want to go home. My mother is waiting to have a long, very long discussion about my future, my career, and the sacrifices she's made for me. She's a cleaner woman in one of the fancy office buildings at La Défense, and I failed my bar exam, so she thinks... Stops herself. She was going to make a joke, but something keeps her from doing so. The smile vanishes. She thinks I'll end up as a cleaning woman at La Défense. Your passenger sighs. He thinks I dance too much. She thinks it's Lakme's fault. But mostly, she thinks it's my fault. She heaves a huge sigh and stares at nothing outside. I studied. I worked hard. but it didn't pass. I just don't believe in all that anymore. Now, be warned, what I'm about to say will sound cliche, but I want to be a dancer, no lawyer. My mother doesn't understand. You must work to earn money in order to succeed. Take a breath. Sorry, I didn't mean to unload on you. I must seem like a pretentious little princess. No, not at all. I mean, that feeling is not too unfamiliar to me. I mean, I obviously also want to be a dancer. Thanks. Thanks for lying. She smiles. The address she gave you is not much farther. I mean, I know I owe my mother a lot. I have to stop being so self-centered, blah blah blah, and I have to pass this fucking exam. She clicks her tongue as if to force herself to stop talking. Instead, she keeps going. Mind you, she came to my Lakme performance. She pauses, tries to find her words. She saw me dance, and when we left, it's kind of dumb, but she didn't say a single word. And I think I've never felt prouder. Her silence spoke 1,000 words. We pull up to her house. She takes her time getting out of the car. I don't know why I said all that, but it felt really good. Thank you. She disappears. Tears have definitely vanished. Very nice. We helped her. I guess. I mean, that's a tough position to be in. I think a lot of people can relate to that or something similar to that. See, he is that guy that is one of the suspects, right? The door opens. It's Hervé. He greets you with a bizarre verbal tick as usual. Hey, good to see you again, Jen. Hi, Hervé. Stop the engine. You look at the rearview mirror and you realize that the homeless man is clutching his left side. Well, alright already, Freddy. Is everything alright? Gives you a vague answer. Yeah, sure, fine. Pause, he can't help making a face. Insist. You're really not looking great. Don't worry, don't worry. Got a little fight last night with this guy. But that's all taken care of now. All taken care of. He smiles, revealing a row of bad teeth. What kind of fight? With a wave of his hands, he changes the subject. Who gives a shit about what kind of fight it was? What you need to know is he took something that belonged to me, and he paid the price. Closes his eyes a moment. So yeah, he wasn't all that bad. But if you let someone steal your stuff, you're done for, you sure? You have to show him you're tough, that you're a big shot. Pulls a sour smile. Sometimes later your passenger clears his throat. You wouldn't happen to have a little something to drink, would you? You know, like they do in those newfangled camps these days? Chauffeur-driven cars? Yeah, that's right. I don't have anything, sorry. He nods. I don't mean water, you know. You smile. I realize that. He sighs. Usually you're not such a pain. I'm worried. He opens his mouth to say something, then just stops short. Yeah, I know, man. Sorry. Gives you a black look. Questions, you know, I've got those morning, noon, and night. Sick and tired of them. He loses himself in thought. As you drive along, you see him starting to keep his eyes open. They are more often shut than open now. Turn up the heat. The passenger's head jerks back up. You're really a good guy, you know, yo. The passenger gives you a sleepy smile. Hey. Serious, don't mind if I get a little shut-eye on the way, do you? You're not. Enjoy. He gives you a smile, but it's a painful grimace. Next thing you know, he's sound asleep. Continue to drive in silence, soothed by the warm air of the car heater. Pull up in front of a nondescript grey building. The passenger immediately wakes up and looks around. Shit, this is great, I'm first. Where are we? An organization that hands out clothes for winter. They were going to open a new. Pause, he's searching for the right word. A new shop, you could say. I'm the first one, huh? When does it open? 2 days from now. Your eyes widen, your passenger gives a little laugh. Don't worry, I have plenty to keep me busy. He pats his pants pocket. I found some books. One on yoga. Another book by that old handsome dude. You know, the guy who talks on the radio? Oh, will help pass time. Gives you a tap on the shoulder. He reaches for the door and stops short, overcoming with a spasm of pain. Fuck. Okay. Yeah, don't worry. I'll take you to the hospital. No, I'm good. He opens the door and climbs gingerly out. And, thanks for turning up the heat. It was nice. Next thing you know, he's disappeared down the dark side street. You sigh, start the cab. Obviously, we didn't get money again. I mean, that is a little bit suspicious. He could have been in another fight. We know that the killer fought with a couple of the victims at least. Okay, another night ends. Let's see. Take a few minutes to update your board with new clues. Your neighbor flushes the toilet. Out of the corner of your eye, you can see the pipe shake. You glance at your bed and get to work. What is this? Great football coach. Yeah, I mean, that's fair enough. I feel like we don't make too much progress right now in terms of the investigation. It's really, I kind of still am inclined that it may be formerly fraudulent because of the whole weapon thing. But definitely possible that it's this guy, and this guy certainly has the biggest motive for the killings. Well, guess we end the night. With a heavy hand, you wipe your tired face. Lie down on the open sofa bed. The events of the day run through your head. The streets, the passengers, the faces, the problems. Your brain is running at full speed, your body aches and you are in pain. You can tell you need to go get more sleep. You glance at your investigation board. Your hands are shaking, you don't quite know what's happening around you anymore. For a short moment the room around you starts to flutter. You shake your head and your mind wanders for a second. And a question comes to mind. Very odd one. So odd you need to say it out loud to be sure you're not dreaming. Was that really Santa Claus? You lie there for a moment, listening to the echo of your own voice resonating around your studio apartment. The silence lulls you. Just when you're about to fall asleep, you think you hear a voice in the distance. 2 and 2. You jump, without understanding where the voice is coming from. Outside, Paris is waking up. You fall asleep. You open one eye. You slept badly. Sometimes you're so tired you can't seem to get any rest. I'd like to understand how that's even possible. You get up quickly. A few minutes later, you're outside of your studio. Night 6. A few familiar faces and a few unfamiliar faces here. Well, let's get going. Maybe I should also spend some time to listen to the radio. Oh, that's the couple again. You recognize the 2 passengers getting into your cab. A few days earlier, you drove them home. They were on their way back from a date with a potential donor. You start the cab. After a moment of uncertainty, they recognize you too. Well, that's a coincidence. We were just talking about you the other day. You were talking about him, not me. He leans towards you. Lucy was so embarrassed about the conversation we were having. You must have heard everything. Nothing to be embarrassed about. The young person is clearly relieved. Thanks. Sometimes we just forget you are there. It really wasn't very polite of me. Don't worry about it. She gives you a smile. Just had another date. Speaking of which... Emily? What? We heard the beginning of the story. He wants to find out what happened. Stop it. You're going to make him feel uncomfortable. Not at all. I'd like to hear about it. The little passenger begins talking quickly, eyes shining, voice a little slurred. She talks quickly, her eyes are shining. She's been drinking again. The guy tonight was gorgeous. Extremely good looking, but extremely stupid too. Although not like the last guy. True, it's funny how people can be both dumb and different at the same time. It's almost fascinating, really. Almost is right. They burst out into laughing. I didn't like the way he was coming on to us. In the first place, it's his reproductive cells we're interested in, not his pretty face. It was as if he wanted to get into bed with us both. As if? No, that's definitely what he was trying to do. He was dying for a little threesome. They exchanged a brief look, can hardly contain their laughter. Still, it's incredible. We had briefed him a little before. He knew that. He knew why we were meeting him. It was all clear. No innuendos. It was so awkward when he talked about insemination by hand. Oh, he called it natural insemination, I think. The younger of the 2 sighs. It's a pity, really. The first guy was too proud to share his genes, and the second one was too busy thinking about his dick. He sure was handsome. Can you imagine if our child looks like that? Yeah, but that's not really... not what really counts. Sure, but it does help. Yes, it does, definitely. A pause. Our kid will be kidnapped in 2 seconds flat. They laugh heartily. Another pause, you've almost reached your destination. The older of the 2 leans towards you. Do you have any children? Leave him alone. Please, I'm just asking a question. Do you have any children? No. He seems disappointed and takes it up again. Would you choose a partner according to the babies you may have together, if you're straight, that is? Her wife rolls her eye. It can be so embarrassing. So what was the question? Based on the looks? I mean, it's not the... Kinda missed the question a little bit. I guess... Does she mean if we were in a similar situation? Or we were just... I guess, I mean, physical attraction does play a role. It's not the only factor, and not maybe not the most important factor, but it is a factor, so I guess. Aha! She turns towards her wife. You see, at least there's one man out there who shares my opinion. The younger woman leans towards you. Don't listen to her. She's drunk and acting up as usual. She does it all the time. She loves making people feel uncomfortable. What's the verdict? Phil, that was his name, right? Yeah, right, Phil. What do you say? The partner takes a moment to consider. I like him better than Damien, so long as he doesn't get too bold. I prefer Damien. Perfect idiot, but at least he has a brain. The younger woman screws up her eyes. That's not how I would have put it. I have to admit that Phil does have perfect features. Our daughter will be gorgeous. Or some. Yeah, right, or some. You park in front of the women's building. The younger of the two pays the fare. The older woman gives you a wink in the rearview mirror. Come on, just between you and me. What do you think? Are jeans and all that such a big deal? Please stop. Come on, you can tell me. There's nothing to worry about. I won't say anything to that woman. That woman has a name. And she's like you to lay off the poor taxi driver who didn't ask for any of this. Please stop bothering me. The wife drags her out of the cab. Fine, you win. You're a certified pain in the ass. The younger woman gives her partner a final yank and slams the door behind her. He makes a gesture with her hand. Both goodbye and apology. Start the car. And again, they give very good tip. I like that too. That's how you get on the good side of someone in the service industry. Just pay them a good tip. Let's listen to the radio, shall we? Your finger is poised in front of the radio. You're trying to find something to listen to. Listen to the news. You happen upon the nighttime news. One of the stories is about a new law being passed to prevent teenagers from using trains to run away. You smile, thinking your teen passengers must be less than enthused to be the cause of all this. As soon as the new car as the news is over, you turn the radio off and the cab is silent again. So no information. Guess let's pick up the politician again. That is the politician, right? Can I pick him up? Guess not. Guess not. Couldn't pick him up. Try to select him. That's the medium ride. The next passenger immediately raises her hand. Drive. I don't care where. I just need you to drive. Stop driving. Turn the key in the ignition. Yes, there. Good. Keep going this way. Her deep, full voice makes you slightly uncomfortable. With closed eyes, she seems like she's in a place far from the back seat of your taxi. When she starts speaking, there's an odd whistle in her voice, like she has a hole in one of her teeth. Slow down. Frail or fragile? With surprise, you look at her in the mirror. Answer me, frail or fragile? I'm not sure. Don't think about it. Just say the first thing that comes to mind. Frail or fragile? Fraggle? Fragile. Ah, odd. Wouldn't have thought that of you. After all, frailty applies more to humans than to objects. The whistle in her voice crackles for a second. Both words actually have the same root. A smile spreads across her face. 2 words, 1 unit. And life went on, and words mix once again. She pauses. You okay? She doesn't hear your question because she starts to scream. Go down the street and stop. You speed up in the quiet street. The cold weather has driven away all the passerby. Yeah, there, yes, good. I've got it. She cries out with joy and it resonates in the cab. I've got it. Look, the words are right here. They're wandering past us like sheep, like... She explodes with laughter. Let's stay silent. Now I must write. She closes her eyes. Her fingers stroke imaginary upholstery. The frail are forced into battle. Together come the children, a son and a daughter, standing tall to salute. They will cry, or yes, they will cry. The eaglets fly behind. The Frail will say. The passenger freezes. When she opens her eyes again, she stares at you. What's that? What happens when you sleep? Thinking about Santa, apparently. I dream. She tilts her head to the side just a bit. No, that's a lie, you know it. What happens when you drive? I work? Exactly. Give your time to others. She laughs strangely, almost a snicker, as her eyelids droop. The son will say, Frail father, I want you to come back to life. And the daughter will say, Frail father, I want you to come back a winner. The whistle in her voice grates on your ears. The father responds, you must choose. And the eaglet lands upon his shoulder. Together they fly off, and thus all began. Fragile, frail, two paths that can't be fooled. The son and daughter will grow up, though not at the same pace. When early one morning, 20 years later, they wake up, they wake to the sound of a bugle. The sound will be beaten, churned, and clubbed, until he wakes from a 1,000-year dream, a dream without sails, in which the daughter and son fish Alcidinae? Alcidinae? May they learn to live again without their father. Frail and fragile. Frail and fragile. She gathers her breath. 11 years. Been writing this poem for 11 years. Are you kidding? You got the impression she didn't even hear you. For 11 years I've been trying to finish this text. It's filled with so much, it's infused with my entire life. Its lungs are swollen with my tears. The breathing is now quite irregular. And it was all waiting right here in this street, right in front of me. She giggles. Thank you. She sighs and places a few bills in front of you, far more than the fare. Stop here and pull the cab over. Keep everything. I have nothing more. She gets out of the taxi without a peep. It seems to you that it's only an impression, but it looks like she's getting smaller and smaller with each step. Darkness swallows her and you sit here, a bit shaken by her poem. Pick up the money. Something falls at your feet. You grab onto a small shiny white seashell with your fingers. You look at it for a second without saying a word. 11 years. The idea makes its way into your brain. You take a minute and drive off. I mean, it's not far more, to be honest. Okay, we're getting a little short on gas here. You slow down. Your eyes sting. It's like someone lit a fire in the cab. You feel a chill run up your spine. You dare to glance behind you. He is there. So, son of a bitch, happy to see me again? Here we go again. He reveals a row of pearly whites, too white. No worries, I won't be here long. It occurred to me, since your wife left you, you haven't gotten laid, have you? Must be hard on morale, huh? I mean, there were opportunities. With Cynthia, that her name? The nurse who changed your bag of piss. That's out a snicker. Or that chick you never called back. What was her name? Julie? Exactly. He smiles. Julie. Julie. Pretty Julie. When was it? 5 months back? 6 maybe? Something like that. Passenger, a smile, number swapped in the taxi. Coffee. Her hair cut a bit too short. But you're into short hair, aren't you? You like it when they look like dudes, don't you? You lower your eyes. Bits and pieces of the coffee date start to resurface. So why didn't you call her back? Julie, she left you a message. That last syllable hangs in the air. She wanted to see you again. Julie. Last syllable shimmers. She wanted to keep conversing with you. Julie. Last syllable burns. Didn't find her attractive and didn't know how to break it to her. He cries out in surprise. Excuse me? You didn't find her attractive? Do I need to remind you whose face comes to mind every morning when you hit the sack? Close your eyes to block him out. You dare lie to me? Now you're going to listen to me, man. As soon as you're finished doing your thing with that cop bitch, I'm gonna call Julie. And you're gonna fuck her. You cringe. Stop using that kind of language. What kind? What did I say? I know exactly what you just said. You fuck her, fuck Julie. Shut your fucking mouth. The scutteral laugh grates on your nerves. Let me tell you why you don't have the balls to call Julie back. Because that Julie, she was smarter than you. Because you knew she was gonna talk about shit you wouldn't understand. Because you're too stupid. This posture shifts. It's almost imperceptible, but it's like he is melting into the back seat. You are too stupid. You lose your temper. You turn around to scream at him. Shut the fuck up already. He vanishes. You're alone in the cab. Truck passes you. Sounds of the city slowly come back to life. A metro in the distance, partly on the first floor of a nearby building. Turn the car on, but let your fingers linger on the keys. The metal is neither warm nor cold, just reassuring. You stay like that for a second before driving off. Oof. Let's make our way to the gas station. I think we need a hot coffee. That's all inside. I think it's the same as before. Yep. That's 3, 4. Oh, it's so expensive. There's a smell coming off of the guy running the shop at this station. Artificial lavender air freshener. Evening. Let's get the newspaper. Let's try our luck here. Perdu. No go. Say, a guy like you, someone who spent most nights here, you must know something about the killer, right? He raises his head and seems almost happy you brought it up. Okay, we got some clues, that's good. But he looks at you as you leave, okay. Leave the gas station. Get in your taxi and drive away. Alright, I think this is also a good time to take a short break. We will continue with our investigation tomorrow. Thank you all for joining me today, and if you enjoyed the episode, maybe consider giving it a like, maybe consider subscribing to the channel. Share the video with friends, family, and the people on the internet. That helps me out a whole bunch and will bring you more content in the future. I will be back with more Nightcall tomorrow. Until then, have a great time.